application name should be here, whatever you give. Okay, MATLAB program 2, right? MATLAB program 2. Okay, so here to display simple calculator, drag and drop text view button here. Okay, then simple calculator, you can just give the name here, enter dot text, and you can just place it as according to your wish. Okay, and one more thing is size. If you want to increase the size, Android text size and 30 dp. Okay, if you want to increase decrease, you can just go on giving it here. Okay, so this is displaying the heading. Okay, wherever you can increase heading. Okay, so that is simple. Next here, result. So as to result is displayed, it is text view once again. So take a text view button here, then drag and drop here, text. Okay, here I'm giving result of calculation. Right. Right. See here, result of calculation will be displayed here. Right, first one, simple calculator is nothing to do with your IDs, and result of calculation, see here, it is T1, text view 1, ID is 1. So this you have to remember, because whenever you take values and displayed in this text view, you have to take ID. Okay, so you have to just remember this ID, T1. Right, so here you have to give the input. So this is edited text. Okay, so edited text, the text you can take plain text, right? You can take edited text, plain text here. You can just go to display. Yes. Okay, so this is edited text. Here you can just give anything, right? Text name or anything. Okay, now it is for number one. Okay, so here, okay, see here. This is edit text. Here you will not be like, it will be just displayed with underline. Here if you click, it will be taking some numbers. Like say there I want to give, asking to enter a number. So for that, I think you might be knowing there will be some message displayed in entry place, that is edited text, where it will be highlighted with a blur. Okay, so that is called as a hint. Android, I can just give um, text size, right? Hint. If you just give hint, there I will say enter the number. Right, I will give this. See here. Now will you able to see that enter the number here? Okay, so if you just give the hint, there it will not be left blank. It will say like enter a number there. There you can just give, when you're entering numbers, it will be erased. Else it will be showing like enter the number. Right. Next, drag and drop a button here. Right, button size and everything you can just manipulate. Right. If you click on that button, its respective code will be seen here. Right, code. So its name is button. You can just give any button ID here because button ID is very important, because with this button we will be taking their values. Okay, now button you have to give unique IDs for all the buttons that we take here. Right, button, and what might be the size, DPs, in the form of DPs. Just to have taken 50 DPs, 50 DPs for width and height. Okay, next, where it has to be adjusted. So if you want to adjust itself according to your size, everything, just go on giving the x-axis and y-axis values. So you can just give x-axis, y-axis based on the values. It will be arranged. Okay. Okay. So you can just give one button. For button 1 id is 1, for button 2 id is 2, for button 3 id is 3, for button 4 it is id 4, button 5 is it id 5, button 6 is id 6, for button 7 b7 is an id, for button 8 b8 is the id. So rest I think is this is the displaying text. If you want to increase the size and everything, those all is just a manipulation. So what you have to worry about is b8 id. Next for b9 is for 9 is b9 is the id, for 0 it is b0 is the id. Right. If you want to take a dot, take a dot, display it as dot, and b underscore dot is the id. Okay. So next equal, for equal symbol b underscore equals is the id. For divide by b underscore divide, b underscore multiplication, b underscore subtraction, b is equal to b underscore add. Then clear, b underscore clear is the id. Okay, so this is only the design part. Okay, so this is what you had done in your first lab also. This is just view. In case if you run this program, if you run this program, it will be showing only these buttons along with the test. It will not perform any of the operations when you click a button. But if you want to perform the button, okay, so button is clickable operation. Like button is an event where it will perform one event after clicking, that is called as a click. Okay, if you want to see here, okay, we'll take any of the one button. Okay, button one is see here, button is a clickable event. When you click it, it will perform some activity button. So here so we have to perform, or else we'll say it android. See here, on click what has to be done. Okay, so this is an event. Either you can give it here what has to be done, or else you can take a main activity java, there you can write the things. So next for this, for all the design part what we had to taken. Okay, so we have to create the activities which are to perform in the background. So for that you have to go to java. The same, it will take the package name as mobile application development lab program 2, and here you have to give, because you are taking a view. One view is not there, I think. View is not there. Okay, so it's not there. Okay, so we have to take and widget button as an inherited package, because here you have to create the buttons. So for creating buttons you have to take this as an imported package. For editing text, here you are taking text editing here. So for that you have to write the code here, means that package has to be inherited here. And similarly text view. So better when you are writing the values code, when you're writing the code for text view, edited text, and buttons, please take these three packages imported from the bundle, main activity bundle called as MATLAB program 2, because you will be writing the button packages and everything. Okay, okay. So here so this is a class which will be doing when you click some clickable element. So clickable element might be button, or when you checkbox it and you click button, or a radio button checked and button is clicked, then it will be a on click listener is a function. Okay, so we'll be creating all the buttons. B1, B2, B3 are the IDs for all the buttons. B1, B2, B3, B7, B8, B9, and B0 for buttons. Next, add button, multiplication button, and division button. Next is equal button and dot button. Next is be clear button. Why be clear button is to clear the edit text part, right? So edit text is the value which has to be taken there as a value. Next is double, take two values, value 1, value 2, then a result. Okay, so operations. So what are the operations to be done? Add operation, subtract operation, multiplication, and division operation. Right. So this is a by default code that will be done, that will be uh, created when you create a particular layout. Right. So button 1 is created with ID 1. So here in this layout R in the whole layout R, this is R dot layout. So in that button in the ID, so we'll find view by ID. That means we'll check what is the B1 ID in the layout that is of button type and store in a B1. Once again, B1 is a button type. Okay, here it will not give any error. Say like button 1 is also in layout B1, and here also we're taking an ID B1. Okay, so it is just a button ID names. Okay, so that button is in this package is called as an on click listener. Okay, similarly you have to take for button 2, for button 3, for button 4. You have to find view by ID. Find view by ID means in actual activity dot main ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ID ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ that ID has to be specified in a r dot id dot that ID name. Okay, so instead of doing it for this in the later program, I'll tell you how exactly you have to reduce this whole code. Okay, because uh, this you have to do it for all the 10 buttons, followed by dot button, clear button, then add button, subtraction button, multiplication, division. For all this you have to do it separately, right? Right. So for all this we had taken on click listener. What you have to do it with that dot, right? So here also you're taking et button, right? Edit text will find view by id, then we store it as et. Okay, where et is of edit type. So this is activating that actual buttons that you have stored in your package. So that is, these are all buttons, right? Not the text view, not text view. Text view is the value that it has to be displayed. Next, on click is a function. If you view in the r dot layout view, what has to be viewed? If button 1 is clicked, it has to, in edit text, it has to display 1. If it is equal to 2, if it is equal to b2 means button 2 idre, you have to append it by 2, andre it has to display 2 in this, right? So what is the meaning is, if I click 1 here button, if this button 1 id is b1, edit text value should be 1, andre 1 click ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 1 value ಇಲ್ಲಿ enter the number ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು, right? So if I click 2, then button 2 id ಏನು b2. So if it is b2, then it has to append the edited text value to 2. So that is what the meaning here. Okay, similarly if view equals button 3, then you will edit text ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಅಂತ display ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Similarly display 4, display 5, display 6, display 7, display 8, display 9, right? Display 0, right? So if it is a dot, so dot, right? If it's a dot, then take that whole string, get to text to string, get a text another the values, then convert it to string, then index of is you have to append the dot. Okay, then clearing the text. For clearing the text, if the button is b underscore clear, then set the text to dash. Okay, so dash means double quote open, double quote close, and semicolon. So that means you are not giving any text. Text means it will be blank. Okay. Next. So if it is plus button, if it is a plus button, if it is equal to add button, then result is equal to value 1, value 2. What is value 1? So value 1 is what is value 1? Parse double. That means whatever you enter in edit text will be of string type. Take that string, that is get that string, get a text, converted it into double, and take and store in a value 1. Now value 1 will be in the form of double, and value 2 is also in the form of double. So these two we have declared on the top here. Okay, so double is equal to value 1, value 2, and result. Okay, similarly here value 1 and value 2 will be taken and it will be stored in a result. Right, next is it will be stored in a result. This we have to display in this place where result in the place only. Now we have to display the result. So result is of which type? Result is text view. Okay, text view only display agಬೇಕು. So text view. So that means you're taking set text. That means in that place you're setting the text as result ಒಳಗೇನಿದೆ value 1 value 2 ಇದೆ. So that will be setting it as a strings that has to be displayed in a variable called as et. Right, so similarly next for minus, subtraction, addition, all things. Right, so this is what you have to do it here. Right, we'll give run, or else there is one more easier method, easier way to get this. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll create other one and we'll show it. The code will be little lengthier here. Okay, it has installed, so we'll share the screen. Okay, so now what we'll do is see here, if you want to take anything, so in enter button, enter the number, it's a hint. If I just click anything, that enter number will be gone and it will be displayed with values. Now we'll take 1. So like enter the number ಅಂತ ಅದು diminish ಆಗಿ ಹೋಯ್ತು. Now 1 is displayed. If I click any of the operation, it will be set clear agi, operation will be taken as add plus. I click the plus. Right, number 1, value 1 is 1 now. Now we'll take 2. Okay, it is displayed. Now we'll take it as 3. Okay, 3. Right, clear. 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2.5. All the values will be taken.